Hello Stampin' friends. It's Julia Mazur here on Monday night for a little Monday Night Live. I have a fun card tonight for you using the Curved Occasions stamp set. This is in the, oh my goodness, September through December mini catalog. I'm just pulling up my video here. We are going to be using the Patchwork Pieces die. It's a set of 2 that comes with these curvy ones and also like a starburst. And let's see, I'm going to show you that I already ran these through the wavy one. And so what happens is the easiest way I found to do this was to just cut out all 5 colors that I have. Yep, 5 colors. And then you can actually make about 5 cards with them because you can mix and match, play around where you put the different colors. So when you cut out with the die, your cardstock, these are the pieces that you're going to get. And you can put them down all flush like I'm going to do tonight, or you can leave a little bit of space between them. I did that with one of the cards that I posted earlier. I think that was Saturday that I posted. They don't totally match up along the edges there, so that's kind of why I ended up making them flush on this card. So I've been playing with this and this stamp set over the weekend. I was making some fun cards for some demonstrator friends of mine. Let's see here. I'm just trying to pull up the video to see if there's any comments. If you have any questions, you can comment while we're going along here and I can answer them as we go. Or if you're watching on the replay, you can also put them on there and I will get to them when you post them. Okay, anyhow, I have to say I was been meaning to make this card with this Patchwork Pieces design ever since I saw the roller skate and I knew that I had this die, so I'm so excited to make it. And my friend Beth was making some cards with this stamp set and had this great idea, and I'm kind of like going off of that card and my idea that I had in my mind from months ago. And I'm using these bright colors. This is actually, well, it looks like real red, but I thought it was Poppy. Here, hold on. Yes, it's Poppy Parade, which is my favorite red. And then Calypso Coral, Daffodil Delight, Lemon Lime Twist. I always want to call this Lucky Limeade. I do not know why. Lemon Lime Twist, Azure Afternoon, and this is another piece of the Poppy. So I cut those dies out of each of these 5 colors. I was playing around all weekend and I discovered that I do like this piece and this piece to be the same color, unless you have 6 colors. But it just kind of seemed an odd man out, and I liked how that worked. So these are the pieces we're going to use. I'm going to take these off of my pad there in case I want to use that to stamp on, because this is a photopolymer set, and so there's no cushion, there's no foam with the clear photopolymer, so it's nice to stamp on our foam piercing mat or just a few layers of cardstock to get some cushion, if you will. Okay, let's see here. I'm trying to get it so we don't have the bright lights glaring on my stamps, but that's okay. All right, anyhow, I'm going to take Beth's little tip that she did, and of course I misplayed. Here it is. I'm taking a piece of grid paper. I was having a hard time lining these up. I was doing another card, and Beth did a video, Beth's Paper Cuts, and this was a brilliant idea. So I'm going to glue everything on here, and I actually did this for my card. Even I put it on a basic black card base, so I didn't even have a frame around it, but this still works great for that. Okay, so I ran through, I love the stitching on this patchwork, and I'm using my liquid glue, and I am just going to put a little bit around the edges there. I'm going to actually flip this over. And I'm going to trim this paper, so it doesn't really matter where I start. But this way I get to, I think I'm going to stand up here, see a little bit better. I should get my stool rather than my chair. Okay. And then, actually I'm going to grab my stool. Hold it, hold right there, please. I'm a little bit higher up on my stool so I can see a little bit better. Oops, sorry about that. Shaking, hitting the table. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh, and by the way, I am sorry that I was a few minutes late. Of course, you know, dinner and some other things I needed to do before I got on here. It took a little bit longer, and I thought I was all prepped and ready to go, but then of course I couldn't find a few things. So anyhow, I am lining it up on this line and on this line best I can, and I'm pushing it so it's flush. Now I'm going to do the Daffodil Delight, and I am going in rainbow order here, so that way I kind of know what goes next. I do love the liquid glue for this technique and putting these dies pieces together, because you can move it around. And we want to make sure that it's nice and flush, and try not to get any glue because we are going to stamp on it. Got some glue on my fingers there. Careful. We don't want any glue to be on the part that we're going to stamp on. So the cards I made actually were with different colors. We have a demonstrator event, kind of like a convention. It's a virtual this year. It'll be in person in March. I got a lot of glue here. I don't know where that came from. I'll have to get my adhesive remover. Hold that thought again. Anyhow, our event this coming weekend, we got some goodie boxes and other stuff, and there was a different color scheme, so I just used a different color scheme than these bright colors. It's so funny, I have some of my least favorite colors on this card, but they go so well together. Got my favorite red, and I love blue, pretty much all blues. But you know, Calypso Coral, I use it often, but it is not my go-to color. Isn't that funny? I usually don't think about it. It might be the orange that matches. Okay. And you'll see here that I already stamped on this because it was my scratch paper. It was my grid paper, kind of like this, that I'm using. Let's see, let's make sure I'm on camera. And try to make sure you get them on the corners there. And then, as you can see, the grid paper is getting all covered up, so it doesn't matter if it's stamped. You don't want it stamped too much because there is the stitching and it'll show through just a little bit. Okay, beautiful. Isn't that nice? Now let me show you another reason why I loved this tip from Beth to put it on the grid paper. I'm going to take my long bladed scissors and I'm going to trim. And what's nice about the stitching is I didn't put glue on the stitching part, so I can kind of shimmy my scissors down and cut way behind there because I don't want to see the grid paper. That's not the nice cardstock frame. So that way I can still have it attached, but in the back I don't really have the grid paper frame. So I'm just kind of pulling it down and cutting around. So now I have my glued pieces. So thanks, Beth, for this great tip. I love it so much. Before I put it on our card base, I'm going to stamp it. I'm going to stamp it with the mirror ball. And I'm going to use Tuxedo Black. Hopefully it's still well inked because, like I said, I was stamping a whole bunch with it. And I'm going to pound it. It's not a squishy ink pad. And I'm going to stamp it to make sure it's well inked. Well, see, I gotta do a little sploosh like this to get it nice and well inked. And like I said, it would help if you put your foam behind it. I'm going to kind of sneak it under my paper here because I'm going to stamp off the cardstock, and I want to make sure I don't get that pad inky. Okay, got this all well inked, and I'm going to stamp my mirror ball, and he's going to go right there. I'm going to hold it for a little bit longer than normal, let that black ink kind of seep into the cardstock. And voila! Nice, huh? And now, I love these sparkles, so I'm going to clean my stamp. You can see that I've been playing around with this stamp set a lot this weekend. Let's flip this over. I want to make sure it's really clean and dry, so I'm going to stamp it down there. And then I just want to stamp these sparkles, so I can actually ink them up pretty easily without getting the rest of the ink, the stamp inked. And then if you ever do this technique, you can always use a blender pen. This is what we use with like watercolor pencils and stuff, but I use it to, when I'm doing this technique, to kind of wipe off any excess. And I want to dry it. I'm going to dry it with my finger. And I'm going to put this up in the corner, just like that. So I get just the sparkles. And I'm going to stamp some more sparkles. Let's ink that up. Well, it's much better sitting in my stool here than rather my chair. Okay, and these guys are going to go here. Nice. And I think I'm going to add some more. Oops, that was kind of a loud squeak with my ink pad. Let's make sure. There we go. And let's see, where did I put them? I think I put them up here. Yeah, and a little off. There we go. I don't know if I want some down there. That's where I was putting my, oh, I think I will. No, I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay, so there's that fun patchwork piece, and I'm going to set that aside. Then I'm going to take my roller skate here, and I cut out a circle with the stylish shapes, which has the stitching around there, so that's why I use the stylish shapes. I could have just used, I think this circle is a little too small. He won't fit on there. He'll fit on there, and then it says a little bit bigger. Not by much though. That 2-inch circle, I guess he does fit on there. Oh, hold on. Yeah. Oh no, 1 3/4 inch. Okay, anyhow, we're gonna use the stitch guy. Yes, we're gonna use the big one. And I'm gonna ink up my roller skate real well. You could ink up your skates and color them and fussy cut them with your paper snips. I actually just want to use, trying to do this quick, so I'm just going to use a circle. That's why I originally did a punch. Okay, I guess I can stick this on while this is drying. It just dries a little bit. And I did use my Stampin' Seal to put this on. Now, if I wanted to, I could take, I should have done this before I put my, I'm going to do a black card base. If I wanted to, I could put a nice white frame around it. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know. What do you think? Should I leave it with no frame? I don't know if anyone's watching to help me out here. Or do a nice, I think I might do the white frame. It's a little bit, I'm changing it up from my card that I made earlier this weekend. This past weekend. Okay, so I'm laying this down, kind of giving it a little frame around. And I'm going to grab my cutter. Luckily it's right here. Move that out of the way. And that's about 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to do my best to get an 1/8 of an inch. That's a little bit too much. Usually, if you are adding this frame, you can line up the inside of the opening here on your trimmer along the outside of that part of your card, and that usually gives you a nice 1/8 of an inch. Oh, it's a little bit smaller. That's okay. We'll move it over a little bit. It happens. And that's okay. That's okay that's not totally even all the way around. These edges are a little bit bigger. If I really wanted to, I could pull that off, but you know what? I'm not going to. I'm going to just add my adhesive. And I'm going to put it on the card base, black card base, towards the right. And put that down. I'm going to, before I forget, I'm going to use my bone folder to get a nice crisp edge there. Ooh, I like the white because it's going to really pop with our skate there. And I'm going to start with Sweet Sorbet. This is Sweet Sorbet. I wanted Poppy Parade. Hold on. Maybe that is Sweet Sorbet. Hold on. No, it's Poppy Parade. Poppy Parade. Okay, I'm grabbing my Poppy Parade blends. Try not to knock my table too much. Okay, I'm going to use the dark Poppy Parade. Now, when you're using blends, don't open up your blends right above your project because sometimes they do splatter. Not a whole lot, but you don't want to splatter all over your project. And I'm going to use the brush tip. It is a pretty narrow space, but I had luck because my brush tip is doing well. And I'm just going to quickly color my skate here. Then I'm going to do did I use dark? This is the Azure Afternoon. I think this was dark. Let me try the light first, because I did not color this before. Oh, I think that's pretty dark, so I'm glad I started with the light. And I'm going to let those dry before I do the lemon lime twist in the middle. I have the basic black for the sole of the shoe. I have the light smoky slate, and I am going to use the bullet tip, and that is for the metal part of the skate. And I'm not using these markers too much for like shading, watercoloring. I'm just using them because they're so nice for coloring images. You don't get lines. And this is the dark smoky slate. So these are going to be, this color is going to be for the wheels. And it's nice with these alcohol markers, you can just keep going over. If you miss a spot, you just go over it, and that's okay. I'm going to use the light for the little rubber stopper here. This is light Poppy Parade. I'm going to take my black, and I am going to use the bullet, so I can use a thin line for the sole there. Oh my gosh, I love it how it's even just red, white, and blue, but I am going to add that color. The lemon lime twist. Oh, I grabbed the bullet point. That's okay. Oh, see, I didn't wait for the black to dry. You can, I don't know if you can see that it kind of ended up bleeding with my lemon lime. That's why I like to wait a little bit. I am going to add some dark. Dark at the bottom. Yeah, I like the dark. There we go. And I'm going to use my trusty 1/2 inch strips here, and I am going to stamp Happy Dance. I think these are a 1/2 inch. Yeah, it's a little bit bigger than a 1/2 inch. Let's get a smaller 1/2 inch. It would be a 1/2 inch then. Oh, they're a little wide. Oh, that's wide. Okay, and I am going to use my handy dandy banner punch here. And punch that end there. And then I'm gonna stamp Happy Dance. Cute. My ink pad's pretty juicy. Is that straight? That's straight enough. And I'm just gonna snip that just like that. I'm gonna get my dimensionals. Actually, I want to put some ribbon behind here. I'm gonna put that there, I think. Or maybe put it there, Happy Dance. I think I'm gonna switch this. Because the cards I was making before actually had 2 little banners. Oh, I guess I could just do 2 banners. No, I am just going to do 1. And I think I'll just flip it over. No, I'll just grab another one. Oh my goodness, sorry. These are still really thick for some reason. Oh, you know what? Probably because sometimes the cardstock is just a tad over 8.5. And so we get some, our things are a little off. Okay, so I'm gonna go like this because I want Happy Dance to be down here. I'm gonna line that up on my grid sheet and kind of go closer to the banner end. Okay, there we go. Make sure I let that dry before I touch it. So I'll put my dimensionals on. Oh, I wanted to put my ribbon. Okay, so trying to decide here. I think I am going to go with the azure ribbon here. Get my banner. I think I'm just going to stick that directly on. That's going to go right there. And I was debating if I want the sparkly ribbon, but I don't have enough of my Parakeet Party, so we're going with this. Not yeah, it is Parakeet Party, so that would be fun, but I got the sparkly Azure Afternoon ribbon, so that'll be good. And I'm just weaving it back and forth, grabbing my tear and tape. I'm going to put 2 embellishments on here, ribbon and some fun sparkle, because that's the kind of card it is. Okay. Probably don't need to trim that too much, but I will. Okay. Now I can put my dimensionals on. That one's stuck. Because it's kind of hard to put the dimensionals on over the ribbon. So we want to put the dimensionals around the ribbon. And so it'll lay flat. My Happy Dance is a little crooked. Let's put that up there a little bit. Oh, we want to move this down a little bit. I got a lot of ribbon on there. Okay, there we go. So cute. And now I want to use some of the iridescent adhesive back discs. So these are the kind of retro discs. I'm going to grab my pick tool because with the sticky side. And which ones am I going to use? I think I'm going to use these truly iridescent ones and put them I think I like them up here. Let's see. Nice. What do you think? Nice little sparkle. I could even probably do more if I wanted to. Or I can put one there. That might be too many. We'll just go like that. We'll just leave it with 3. Okay, so there we go. There is our fun Happy Dance card. Let's trim these a little bit more. There we go. Fun retro card. This is a great congratulations card, and with the black, you can either write with a white marker if you have one, or we'll put a quarter sheet in there. So thanks for joining me this Monday night, and hope you enjoyed the patchwork pieces and fun retro card here with our curved occasions. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you can join me next week. Bye-bye.